Well, good morning. So the Mad Otter is back, and we're going to be carrying on with the coal plant today. So let's let's crack on, shall we? Just double check, triple check that my OBS sound is mic is working, because OBS keeps changing my settings on me for no reason. So I'm just making sure everything seems to be okay. It seems to be okay. Let me know if there's a problem anyway. So we started on the central design piece here, and I woke up at about 4 o'clock this morning and had a sort of idea of what I was going to do. So I just want to have a look at whether we can actually do it or not, basically. How? I don't know at this stage. I know we've got to sort all this wiring out yet. That's to be done. But we do have the coal plant up and running. We've got, oh, excuse me, power wise we're doing okay, you know. We've now got the blue line below the production, which is good. So we've settled down at about 1800 megawatts with these 8 here and the 3, don't forget, back at base. Now we're going to have to take those 3 out, which is going to reduce this down probably below the amount. So we've got a couple of things that need doing. We need to increase water supply, and at this point I did talk about the other session trying to see if we could build a second water tower in here, and I just, in the end, it wasn't really working because the water is actually too shallow. So the only way we could do it is if we actually built in the second pond a water plant, which long term could be then also used for packaged water. But we could certainly siphon off what we needed at the moment into this. So that would then mean scrapping this one, potentially. So that's where my thoughts are today, is whether we go along that line to increase the power. So we'll have to have a think about that. This stream won't be as long. It won't be I don't think it's going to be a 4-hour one. It will probably be a 2 to 3 hour stream. So I'm not sure how much we're going to get done. But the thing I was thinking here with this power plant to try and get some aesthetics done on this was I was looking at these things, and I was thinking, they're an interesting design. Sort of a bit like a pumpkin almost on stilt. But I was wondering whether we could do something with that sort of like a segment shape on these pods. So that sort of segment in there. Whether we could do something like that, having segments coming off in between each of the chimney stacks. And having it obviously illuminated and stuff, so it would be super cool. But I'm not 100% sure how to go about it. And because we're on such a small blueprint machine, this is the only size available currently, so it does mean we're a little bit stuck for size, but we will try. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to work at the moment with just these fellas. And go to this corner and go right up. I'll go up to 30 meters. I'm going to put a little cap on it and then take out the 30 meters. Now, this is where I need, I really needed a hover pack or fly mode so I could flip and fly around. But I can't do that. So I'm going to have to build silly ramps again, I'm afraid, that look really ugly in the meantime. Just to try and give myself some room to actually work. I did not ask for that to be unlocked, thank you very much. So, okay. This blueprint machine sitting at such an angle as well. Not that it matters, it's not going to be doing anything. So, segments. Now, the way I used to do these in terms of I really am going to have to build internally, sorry. It's just, this is just not going to otherwise work. Is it going to let me? No, it's not going to let me. Player is in the way. It's not going to let me jump high enough. It used to. See if this will work for us just for the minute. So the way we used to be able to do it, I don't know whether that's going to work. It's going a little bit AWOL on me, which I don't want it to do. I think what I'm going to need to do is set up in the opposite corner as well. And we come up, go on default, go up to 30 meters again, put in that. The basic goal here is to forgot to hit the diagonal, didn't I? And R mode, that's it. Interesting. It still did not want to go. What's going on here? We are on diagonal. It should. I'll blow diagonal, then I'll do it freeform. Simple as that. Right. Yes, that is correct. Okay. So the goal here is to get a curve going down effectively to that corner there, which is then going to be our biggest point of being able to define the sort of shape. Hopefully this will start to make some sense in due course. I think what we're going to need to actually keep that default down there. What I'm do is put down every other. These black connectors basically snap to the nearest meter, and even if you're creating circles, it's a with beams and pillars and stuff, it's actually it's not always necessary, but it's basically advised for the sake of aggro down the line. It's worth putting in the extra little bit, because yeah, it can save you a lot of aggro down the line. Basically, it's as simple as that. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and just direct this on a gentle slope coming down every couple of meters. I may need to adjust that in terms of but you can start to see what I'm doing here with the gentle sort of curve coming along. I've forgotten which one I went to. Just not handy. We can go to that one though. That looks not too bad. It should get slightly steeper anyway as it goes, basically, but so what do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're down to 7. Is that too steep? I think that one was too steep, so it should be 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I've always said with Satisfactory, with the once you understand how you can build things that are not just a square box, the limit really is your imagination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because using pillars, basically you can do anything. As long as you've got a system in place effectively for it, which is the key. Good morning, Mac. How are you, mate? Nice to see you back. You'll see a slightly different, unusual technique here, perhaps, for building. So what we're trying to do is on the power station here, just in case you missed the very intro part, was we're going to try and formulate some sort of like almost like a leaf, but it's sort of like a segment of one of these bulb things almost. And we're going to have that sort of coming out in between the chimney stacks if we can, and have them illuminated obviously down onto the machinery. And then we're thinking of scrapping this long term and building a completely separate water system in here that actually makes packaged water and stuff, etc. And we can siphon off some of it here because there's not enough water here on the 2. And I was going to put in 4, but it all started to look a bit clunky. And I was thinking actually it'd be better just to build a water factory over here and do something, and then just siphon off what we need across. So that's going to be sort of the project for today, is trying to build a segment for this so that we can get that done just for the next few hours, and then I won't be on a big 4-hour session today. It will just be probably around about 3 hours, all being well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're just plotting at the moment the curvature of the spine of it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Let's get in there. I think that will be just about right, actually. I think that's worked quite well. So that's basically the curve. So what we do now is we have to work out what we're going to use as the spine. So there's all sorts of options. This concrete round thing, I don't believe you can colour it. I'm not sure, I haven't tried. And it doesn't want to seem to snap to the right centre of that either, which is a bit odd. Question is, will it colour? That's the key thing to start with. So let's, oh, it will. Ooh, okay. The question is, can I on freeform get it to snap where I want it to? But it doesn't. It seems to want to go beyond. But as long as it does the curve. Well, this is interesting because I've never used this concrete thing before. I've always used pillars. Look at this. This is quite a... Because eventually you take these black things out, of course. Which is actually something I should check just quickly, is whether it leaves a gap. No, it doesn't. It's so minute it doesn't matter. You won't see it. So that's good. Could even pop it back on there, which is awesome. Okay. Well, we can, where are we? It's, I think we can afford to do that basically. And then that should be the last snap. No, missed it. Okay, that's too high. I didn't like it, so I need to go up one. Does not like snapping back into them, which is really odd. But okay, that will do. There we go. Actually, that is not curved quite enough at the end. If you look at that, it goes out, flares out. Mind you, leaves do that petal thingies, but yeah, I'll leave it because they do tend to do that actually. Okay. Well, that's fascinating. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting because the last time I tried to do one of these concrete things, it wouldn't actually do. It wouldn't paint up, so I'm super pleased about that. Yeah, never seen this technique, no. Um, you'll see some crazy stuff and some of it won't work, mate. I can assure you. Uh, but one can only try. That's my motto. One can only try. So what we do from here is we now go to default setting and we start coming out and we can alter that fractionally. So when we come to, yeah, no, keep going default for the minute. Basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to map the shape damaged to fix it property. I am the property of fix it. One more. So it might be too fast, if you know what I mean. Coming out, it might be, it might be, it might be, might be, might not be. We might be okay. We'll have to do like a test piece in its real skeleton form. Put it up here, see if it fits within, whether the mechanics allow me to come between the chimney stacks or not. And then we will come back and carry on with it. So I just want to get out a skeleton thing at this stage. I think because obviously the widest spot is about halfway, so roughly around here is going to be the widest point. It's just, is that roughly about right? It is actually, it's not too far out. Okay, that'll work. Actually, take that one out. And then it will stem the flow of that curve, probably looks a little bit better. So that'll work. How many meters did I come out on that one? 10. I think I've done possibly that wrong. I don't know. What was the... That's 8. What did I do on this one? You know, I did 8. Yep, no, this one looks wrong there. and this one. Maybe that one needs to come out one more by the look of it. 7. And then that one more. I think I've been cutting those just one short. That'll do. Looks a bit like a fish spine, doesn't it? We'll get the droop of it in a minute. Basically, 11 by 11. Maybe actually that should have stayed at 10 and done 2 at the 10. It's the widest point, like that, and then curve it back in. I think that will be better. Oh, misclicked. Back to the. Was it not? I'm forgetting what I'm doing here, number wise. 8, 8, 7, 7. Let's come around this way. 6, 6. 5, 9, 4. I think we'll go down to 2 because it falls off sharper at the end, doesn't it? Leaves, and then down to the single one, you see. So that is in effect your very basic shape. What we can do as well to help some droop on the leaf if we decide to go that sort of way is we can then come down like 2 meters, 2 meters. We'll put in a couple of blocks. Then here we can come down like 1 meter, 1 meter. What this is doing is basically giving us it's just giving us good little sort of like guidelines to work with when we come to actually do the thing. Then we want to go, I don't know why, it's a bad habit still, I still keep pressing the F key to copy. I don't need to. I'll carry on doing 2, I think, for the next few, and then go back to 1. Of course, if you really want to do something organic, like one of my other flower plants I did years ago, well, not years ago, but it was probably about 18 months ago, was you can make these really random. I mean, I had holes in the leaves and all sorts of things you can do. You just got to have the patience to work through it. But pretty much anything is possible. So I'm going to go with that. We'll create a border on it, and then we'll use this as a template. So let's just name this quickly for template coal plant leaf. We'll call it that for the sake of argument. We'll have to see what this looks like. Sometimes it doesn't work, and like things like this look a bit odd, and then you have to just scrap it. So it is a game of playing, basically. We want freeform. I'm wondering actually with this particular. See, these here don't have a spine down the center of them as such. They've got the spine down between two sort of segments. So I'm wondering whether I should try and do it like with this one or not, to keep that going. But I don't. It can get very tricky. We're using round stuff, but then it's also better. I don't know. We'll find out. I've just got to try and get this to actually go on the snapping points I want, and for some reason today it doesn't really want to do that. That's frustrating because normally it snaps right into the center. Let me just come up a second. So it goes to the center on that one, and it should snap to the center on this, or near enough to it. Oh. Okay, let me just do this for a second so I can get a better view. It might just be the angle. You see that, yeah. That's sort of close, but it's not. It should be snapping right into the center of it. Why is it not doing that? It should snap, you see, like that. It does not want to. But what we can do is try it that way around. Okay. What color are these? Blue going to pink. Okay. Well, we can't sort of exactly do that, but he doesn't want to do what I want to do today. Yeah. Is that going to be a better slope than that one, maybe? Right. Let's take that one out. You can see from a distance how that would start to look pretty cool as a petal. So what we're going to do We are going to delete all this unnecessary stuff. We're going to now get rid of this all here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to save this blueprint as B, just in case we need those parts back in for the measurements, and we can go back to it. Now what we've got to do is come over here and see whether the game mechanics is going to let me just roughly put this thing in place, and how that's going to work. Okay. Where is it? On me. I don't want it on me. Let's take it over here a little bit, shall we? See if we can get it to sit somewhere else for a minute. That'll do. Can we rotate? That's the one annoying thing, is when it's in when you've locked the template mode, it won't rotate. Very frustrating. Anyway, what that means is we're going to have to kind of try and line it up before we move it, which is a pain. How can we... Just got to find a snapping area where it's going to work for us, and then we can because what I want it to do is to come to the center of this pillar, basically. That's the goal. Is that they will be placed. Oh, well, there we go. That is an alignment for you. Right, okay, let's try this. It's a little bit out in terms of its rotation, but in basic terms, I mean, yes, the rotation's wrong, but in basic terms, that will, I believe, actually sit there. It will build even if it clips the chimney, which we don't want, but with the right correct alignment, it won't. And what that will do, I think that's going to look actually really cool when it's done, particularly when we get that illuminated as well. Okay, let's run with it. As info, I'm hoping a friend will join in with the word cat in their name. This person is fairly new to the game but has the eye, patience, self-discipline and ability. Good. That's always needed, trust me, with Satisfactory. Unless you're building just square boxes. But if you're doing anything creative, then yeah, you have to be patient. or patient. And the problem as well with it, to be honest, is that um, at the end of the day, I'm an artist in real life, so I try to put stuff into whatever I'm doing in terms of gaming. I try to be creative where I can, and this game does allow for it once you understand some of the basic principles of the mechanics and what you can do with it, like this, and creating curves and strange things, and it's cool, super, super cool. And even when I get frustrated with it, it's mild frustration because I love it so much. It's like working on a painting, there are days when I'm in the studio where I just like want to scream at the thing because it's just, you've been doing something for 30 years and it's gone perfectly okay on like 25 canvases, and suddenly on the next one it doesn't, and you're just like, why? Uh, and Satisfactory can be sometimes like that. Excuse me. Yeah, drink, drink, drink. It's the one thing I forget to do when I'm playing Satisfactory, is drink. Sorry, that was a destruction to the side. Right. See if we can, just got to get again that right positioning on this so we can try and. We went from the top last time, didn't we? And I think we're going to have to do that each time. Because I think coming from the bottom is problematic. Yeah, I think this is interesting. It's going to shape up to be an interesting design. Go that way, in the middle, and then come back that way maybe. Yeah. So there you go, you start to see these black bits will be taken out eventually. But that's where it's going to go, is roughly in that position. It's going to create a really cool effect, I think. And eventually, if I really want to get really arty with it, I can make up a whole color palette of colors, of getting the blend of the pink through to the blue, like on here. And I can actually tone each one subtly to change as it shifts up. And it's a hell of a lot of work, but it would look super, super cool. So that may happen, depending how much patience I have. You had it. It's there. There we go. This one then comes out. I have to go from the center on that one back out. And then back again that way. Yeah, that's going to look alright. I think it is shaping up nicely. Let me just save the blueprint as I go, because it's a lot of work to lose out on. So I'm just trying to give someone a link who's trying to get in to watch what I'm doing. They've texted me, but I'm not sure whether they're in my Discord channel. I know they're friends on there, but I don't know whether they're actually in the channel, so I'm just trying to sort that out, sorry, at the moment. See if he gets in. Right. Oh, had it there. Oh, I've lost the colour. There's the colour. So we're getting there, shaping slowly, slowly, slowly. Who thought when you're building a factory you'd be building a leaf? Crazy, eh? But that's what I love about Satisfactory. You can literally build a totally realistic factory, flat slab job with all the beams, trusses and everything. Or you can go do something crazy, which is generally the route I go. But I have to say it's very satisfying. We will take out all these black bits. They will be gone once we've looked at it overall and made sure the shape is doing what I want it to do, basically. There is a bit of a kink there which I'm not enjoying, but from certain angles. But other things about it I like, because a leaf isn't obviously dead flat or smooth, you know, it's generally, it's all, a lot of them are all over the show. So we'll see what it looks like overall when it's in position, up there where that orangey template one is. And we'll see where we go from there. No worries. By the way, I commented on your latest reply on YouTube. In short, if I don't respond, please don't take offence, as it's my inability to navigate much complex anymore, much less new. Yeah, you're like me, mate. It took me ages to work out. When I was doing YouTube videos years ago, um, it took me ages to work out the fact that I couldn't respond to people's comments directly on the YouTube channel. For some reason, it wouldn't let me do it. I actually had to go into the behind the scenes thing on the each video and reply that way. And I wasn't getting notifications for all the comments either. It was like really, really bizarre. And I still don't know how that's worked out, but I've just tried to get my head round it as I've gone, basically. So yeah, no worries, mate. I understand your pain. Understand your pain. So yeah. So if anybody's watching who's new to Satisfactory, basically it's a factory building game on an alien planet, and normally most people build a flat slab and build a factory of varying sizes through the game as it gets more complex and bigger and more uh, whatever. And uh, I tend not to do that. I tend to do crazy builds that are a little bit different. Oh, hello, mate. Um, and this one here is a little coal plant that I've been building, a water tower, which is going to be dissolved eventually because we're going to build a bigger one over here. And I'm just building some leaves at the moment to go in this position roughly and dot it around, turn it into a more organic thing. So we'll see what happens, you know. There's very much a wait and see. Hey, oh, come on, you had it. Snap point. Come on, you can do it. There. But it is a game of patience, unlike a flat pack factory, which is a lot easier. And I've got it on random node setting as well across the map. So this is only part of the map. It's a fraction of the map, but these are all random nodes, not your usual thing. So it makes it 10 times more complicated, which is great fun. But this is just the beginning, just the beginning. We have a way to go. That didn't go right. Spin up. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see this and see it illuminated as well, and how I get lighting done on it. Can't wait, it's going to be interesting. Because you can, you see, put the lighting like this on the beam. There's one way. Yeah, it's good. Big job, big job. Had it then. Yeah. Put these ones back out. Let's take that out. Take that out. Take that out. First, there we go. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Does not want to do it from this angle. That's the problem. I might have to climb up there and do it. Right, try it from that side. By gum, come on. It wants to do it to there, but not to there. Oh, had it then. So it can be done. Oh, come on. Oh, keeps jumping out of it. It goes in and then stops. That's why I say you need, there it is. You need patience with these builds, with this sort of type of build anyway. Flat factories are a lot quicker. Just dump everything down, connect it and go. As soon as you want to do anything creative or artistic in this game, it's like crazy. Now I should be able to, yes I can, just jump up here, which is awesome. You're going to do it up from up here or not? Maybe not. Maybe it just does not like that connection. Okay, let's try it back the other way. That would work. It's the clipping thingy it doesn't like, that's why. There's too much information here for it in the one. We can usually get around that by doing something like that. And from the distance it looks fine, because you're not seeing this close up. Fun stuff. At some point I look forward to seeing you digitally paint and blend. At least with this, it won't take days to dry and be less messy than oils. That's very true. Yeah, no, I'm working on. If you join up on the Discord channel at all, you'll see pictures in progress. Basically, I put paintings on there on the general chat from the studio, shots in from the studio. Yep. But I don't do digital painting. I only do oils and sometimes acrylics and stuff, depending which work I'm doing. But at the moment, this year, I'm focusing back on the traditional landscape artwork stuff. So it's all very traditional techniques and oil paints. Yeah. Getting there. It's getting there. We're not too far off. Not too far off. The other way. Didn't like that one. Now this is where it can get a little bit more cramped again, but that's okay. Just work through it as best as we can. Just got to remember this stuff is visually from a distance. It's not seen close up particularly. Let's actually start clearing off these little fellas. I can hear one of those beasts walking around me. One of the hogs. There you go. And that's pretty much it. Now what we can do, press the G key and we can highlight then just those connectors to delete them. It won't delete the other stuff we've been building. Take out those couple of pieces there. That G key trick as well is also something you can do for colors when you're painting. So you can paint specific things by if you select an item, if you only want a particular item, a certain color, you can just select the item, press the G key, and then paint it, and it will only paint those items that color. So that's another cool thing to remember. Right, okay, let's get rid of this inside the thing. So that's phase 1, which is basically just the basic leaf shape. We'll go and see if we can stick it up there and have a look what it's going to look like, and then we can work out what we're going to do lighting wise to try and see if we can create the awesomeness with lighting. The alignment is going to be the key thing, and that's one of the problems we're going to, or difficulties we're going to have in this, is getting the alignment correct. And that is going to be a problem. Now, what we could do, if we do a blueprint on a blueprint, does that work? And can we rotate? It's only going to do big rotations though, which is not what I want. Let's get rid of this one then. You can start to see what this is going to look like. It's like, where has it gone? Yeah. I am just going to have to guess this for the going to the center by the look of it, unless I can work out another way of doing the alignment. Doesn't look actually too far off, weirdly enough. Chimney's coming through, unfortunately, that leaf, I think. Yep. So we need to push it out. How's that going to work? Could do that. I don't mind encroaching on the side so much, a little bit, but we might be able to just wiggle it out a little bit further and not have the clash at all, which is probably the better way to go. That's okay, even there, because I'll tell you why, because I can actually work. Oh, nearly missed the ladder. Because we can work on something here to stem these all too. A bit like the piece that's under there already with the light, we can put up here to cap it all and make a sort of smaller cap. So that's okay. We can work with that. And then it's not so crucial on the alignment. Right, let's replicate that, bring it around. This is where it's going to get tricky to see whether it actually lets. Oh, we haven't got enough goods. Nice. Run out of materials already. Okay. So let's go to power storage, turn that one off. Let's go to blueprints here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So roughly. And that'll give us how much we need. I'm hoping I saved that. Let me just double triple check. I think I did, because we dropped it in there. So that's it in plain blue. As I say, we can colour it up. I'll be able to tint it up a little bit different with a whole heap of work, but that'll probably take quite a few hours. We will stick in the other leaves first and have a little look, see where it's going to go. But let's just let's go back to the hub and pick up that steel. back to the chaos. Starter base. We will come back to this factory and carry on when I have got the little power plant done. Are we full? We are full. Okay, let's take that out, put another in. Just need one more. 12 grass is not going to do anything, so we can take that out. Awesome. I'd like to, but have trouble figuring out how to navigate Discord. This is why I said if I fail to respond, please don't do. No, I don't take offense, mate. Not that sort of stuff. Don't worry. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Let's go whip back. This is all temporary. This hypertube system and the rubbishy concrete that it's sitting on at the moment. All that will be deleted. It will all be cleaned up in due course. This is just a to B mechanism at the moment for as logistics aren't in operation at this point. Got a long way to go there. And if you're playing for the first time Satisfactory, as I said, I think in the last stream, the random node system makes the game 10 times more difficult. Logistics is absolutely going to become a priority in this game once I get going. And as you can see by the top right screen, I've increased the amounts going into the objectives like crazy amount, and it's insane. Just to get things unlocked is like nuts. But because I've done so many hours on Satisfactory, it just sort of kind of made sense, because otherwise I'm just doing exactly the same thing as I've always done, which then gets, a little bit boring. Other than the creative side, but in terms of production. So, right, let's try again. Go up. We've got the materials this time, so we should be able to put a load of leaves in. So let's bring it down. I did not wiggle it, I don't think, enough. I didn't rotate. No, I didn't. Why is it? Yes, thank you. What we need to do, let's try and get it to fall somewhere else almost. This is going to be the piggy bit. Right, there we go. So that looks about right. Ish. Let's come up. Pull it in. Let's try and jump back up. Probably rotated a little bit too far. I believe so. Okay, back to the drawing board. It's actually going to be quite hard to rotate without infinite nudge, because it looks like the snapping is just literally very, very big rather than minute. So it's not quite free, free for all, which is a shame. because I think it's actually going to make it very hard to do what I want. But let's try. We'll just keep trying, see if we can get it to do what we want. Okay. It's actually missing both of those just. Pulled it in a little bit nearer. It's good to have a little bit of randomness in it. I tend to do that when I'm doing anything that's reasonably organic. So like I won't have this. I mean, if I really want to set this up in a deliberate spot, I'd have to take a beam out, put a connector up, basically, and sit this then onto that. So it can be done. Whereas the way I tend to play with organic builds as much as possible is I make things a little bit irregular. And I find it just adds to the look down the line. I'm going to pop that there. Once these three are done, we're going to go and take a look at it. Just to get an overall picture, a sort of look of it. Don't worry about these at the moment. As I said, we're going to build a cap that's going to probably hide all that. Let's bung that in there. Let's go and have a look. See whether it's heading in the right direction for us. Yep. I've got to do all the lighting yet. I mean, this is a temporary sort of setup with them just to see that they're working in basic terms, because I'll stick in lighting probably underneath. But I actually quite like that. Kind of crazy, kind of me. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to have a munch on a biscuit. One moment. Somewhat looks like the creature that spits out the bees in the game. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Right, well, In that case, let's work out what we're going to do for in terms of lighting. That can all come down now as well. Just keep the ladder there for the moment in case I have to fly up on top. Mind you, I can climb down. Maybe get rid of it as well. Okay. So, lighting. Basically what I'm going to do is in the center, there's going to be like a cluster like this wheel thing here. And that's going to have lighting on it as well, throwing out light. But I'm thinking on the underneath of the leaves, it would be cool to have something going on. Even if it's not complete strips of light. But I'm just wondering whether we can even have dots of light. So let's color one of these up. Let's go. Okay, that one there works, but that one there doesn't. Interesting. Let's just try and see whether we could get some continuity going up here with it sitting in the thing, but even that might work. Maybe do those blue. That could work. The leaf is blue, so the lights can be pink. They can create a, the contrast going on. Even the little bits that show are quite cool. That might work quite nicely, actually. Let's try it. Let's run with it. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way, buddy, wrong way. That's pretty cool. I like that. I've missed one there, but it's so close to the other one. The way it's sitting. Well, it's not actually missed, it's actually in the wrong location. Okay. I don't know whether that's just the way it is going to sit there or not. Oh no, there we are. Sweet. Sorted. Okay. I don't mind that. That looks pretty cool. What I'm half wondering is whether we need, I know it sounds random, but whether we just do the odd dot around and it doesn't even have to be consistent. Oh, excuse me. It could be sort of just like sort of type thing like speckles almost, you know. I think that could be fun. Let's do them, stick them up, see what happens. Yeah, let's do it. Dear. Save blueprint. Very good. Let's go and pop them up. And let's get all 8 done if we can now, going around, or however many are going in, and it might be 7 actually. And then we can have a look at that central piece and the cap and see if we can tidy it all up then to make it look super cool. Right, it needed to come down, didn't we, on here to get it to work? Yep. Just got to go back and start guessing this leaf position roughly. It's close. Just got to get it as close as I can. And maybe up a little bit more yet. Let's build that one. Get that one in. Yep, that's okay. Come up a little bit. Not as high as the last one. Pop that in. I really like it and I've never seen anything similar. Thank you. Oh, no, thank you. um, it's always good to see other people building and what they're up to, and yeah, and what can be done creatively within Satisfactory. I love that side of. I'm now missing the quartz. Can you believe I have it on me? That means we can build it, which is good. So what I might do, save going anywhere, see if it'll let me build it up here. Come on. Yes, it will. Yeah, I love seeing different people, and that's why I said in one of my earlier streams was the fact that, check out some of the foreign language builders as well, because some of them are really cool as well. And yeah, and they just don't get enough recognition, to be honest. But it is amazing what you can do with Satisfactory, and it's one of the things that when I first started Satisfactory, I was playing as well with a mate in England, and and we yeah we played around with stuff, and sometimes I would go off basically very much on a tangent doing things because I'd get an idea, then go onto my own map and play around with stuff, and it is amazing what you can do if you've got the time and the patience basically to put into it, and not worried about trying to sort of finish the game, because that's the thing that stops you, because then you get impatient and you just lose incentive. Nearly there. I still think we're going to need more than 3 though. Um, we'll come back to that in a minute because we will no doubt need more. I think that's probably going to be about right. Yep. Should go higher on that one. Yeah, we're going to have to redesign this centerpiece a little bit to mark out and hide all of these well, the ends of them, so it just comes out. Hopefully we can work something out for that, because that down there doesn't look big enough yet to do it, so we might have to work something out, but we will. Right, how many more leaves do we actually need? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So let's go to here and let's just add in then the 4. So we actually are short on plates as well as quartz. Okay. I don't think we're going to have enough to go. We're going to have to go back and get some stock here. Let's go and do it. And we're going to have a look while we're here down here. We obviously have this leaf. We could actually dissolve that. That solve one problem. So if we save blueprint for the moment and then clear blueprint designer, we come to here, collect the goods. Doesn't change much. But you can see the lighting now under the leaf just doing its little thing, and we'll get more lighting in there on the framework and stuff once we get the centerpiece done and worked out how to hide the stems. And we might even build some more leaves, but smaller ones to go in or and over the top or whatever. We'll work some stuff out. Yep, it's a bit of fun. Boom. Right, plates. I don't think they're in these two. I think, oh, what am I doing? Why am I stuck? Oh, yeah. That's those plates. I think it's in the next one. That one. Yeah. I don't think I've got any quartz up here, so I'll have to go and get quartz and refine it from our one random node that's over the other way. 156, what are we up to here? Only 60, so yeah, we're going to be short by about 40. Have to go and grab some more. More, sir, more. Same with the diorama in terms of finding some great artists. Eastern European, Spain have some great under recognized talent. Yeah, yeah, it's huge, mate. It's yeah, I need to go and get some. Yeah, it is massive. It's one of those things where there is a lot of talent out there, and it doesn't always get seen because unfortunately, just well, I mean, it's partly the way it is, but I was thinking about what you said the other day actually about like a guild or something for builders, and I actually think it would be really cool if pretty much every gaming or game had its community board, which effectively was open for everybody in terms of being able to then post links to your streams or pictures or whatever. And yeah, you know, you can go and do it on Reddit or whatever and blah 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 blah. But it would be interesting to see whether then more people got recognition effectively. Um, you know, people out there that have got real skill and ability in different genres. And the same for you in your field of the dioramas. You know, it's like it would make sense that they have something where everybody can post, you know, stuff relating to what they're doing. But it is, you know, it's unfortunately in the gaming world, it often is actually quite nasty. And I mean, it's like some of the top. I know I got chatting to a couple of people who were, you know, streamers, pro streamers and stuff, and they were getting daily death threats. You know, I mean, it was pathetic, um, basically. Um, these people that think, you know, they can just go around and abuse people online just because they're jealous, you know, of what they're doing, and I don't agree with that either. But at the same time, I do think that there's should be more space in terms of, yeah, people getting recognised for what they do in anything. Sounds like a great idea, but the moderator would have his her hands full. Oh yeah, it'd be a full-time job. Yeah, 100%, mate. I mean, a lot of the top streamers, it's all under a management group anyway. They have agents, and there's actually a management group that take over, like in any industry. And that was the thing with the girl who got the death was getting all the death threats and stuff. She in the end, she said, I don't now get them because I don't. Well, she said, I get them, but I don't see them because the management keep it away from her, basically. So they now control every message going to her, even online. It's delayed so that they can literally moderate everything before it reaches her. Um, so they've got a whole team of people that basically deal with it behind the scenes, and it's a proper company. I can't remember the name of it now. She did tell me, but yeah, kind of interesting, but sort of makes sense in a way that you know professional streamers would have a management company looking after them basically. But the downside to that is, I guess, is that well, there's pros and cons. I guess they can promote it more. The downside is obviously they take a slice of the pie, so it comes swings and roundabouts. As long as they do their job, though, it will be fine for the streamers. But if they start not doing their job but still taking a slice of the pie, then it will backfire basically. Which is what's happened in the art world with art galleries. They used to do all the promotion and do really well and take, you know, 40-50% of the cut of the painting price. Now they just take 50% basically and don't do any marketing. And it's totally trashed the market for most professional artists, which is why so many are walking away now, including myself. Right, we have enough to finish those leaves, so let's go do. Let's go do. And we will come back to this building once the power is sorted so that we can actually start running it properly. It is still trickling away though, just with a couple of machines running. I mean, we're up to 7,269 now smart plating made out of the 50,000, so it is working. Let's just get into that hypertube. get back to that. There we go. Speaking out loud, it's why I long for the days of print media. In modelling dioramas, they're around, but I'm sure they're struggling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it was interesting because even um, some years back now, it would be, probably 10, 12 years ago, roughly. I was in England at the time, and it was after the earthquakes here in Christchurch, and we'd gone back to England. And I got in touch with, because I ran across a famous model maker, um, and he's done literally, I mean, he's like one of the granddads, if I can call him that, of model making. And Martin Bowers basically was his name. And he worked on all sorts of stuff. Um, basically over the years, model making, mainly spaceships. That was his primary thing he was known for. Um, Although he did a lot of other stuff as well. Ah, there you go. And yeah, I got chatting to him on Facebook, and very interesting chap, and very sad story, really. But he uh, had lost out so much, and he got so sick of the industry because even though he'd been in it all his life, but he'd been literally robbed so much by people in the industry, and he'd spend weeks working on huge models and that for them, for these films and stuff and bits and bobs, and they wouldn't pay him, and all this nonsense and stuff, and very, very sad getting an inside story on it, but it was a real insight um, to some of the rubbish that goes on basically behind the scenes. It was very fascinating. Nice guy. He was his wife was, I think, terminally ill with cancer or something, and he was having to nurse her, so he hadn't done any modelling for ages. But yeah, really interesting chap. I remember as a kid having books on sci-fi and stuff, and his name was always cropping up for for model making, basically. Big name in the industry, but yeah. Yeah, we're just going to have to rearrange this, sort this out with the lighting and everything. I think a bit different here, but we'll come back to that. It's going to have problems with that clearance. That's okay. I don't care about that at all because that's going. As long as we can bring it in. Can we get one more? Ah, yeah, there we go. It even clears the the thing there. Awesome. Let's pop that there. That's that. Now we can work on this middle piece. We can go back to the blueprint machine and reload that one and see what we can do. Oh my word, this thing's attracting more and more animals and he's stuck on it. I am going to delete that, let them escape. Probably have to give them a tickle to get away from this area. Go on, run, tickle. Right, let's replonk that down. It's a bit different. It's a bit different. We will try and get that, as I say, the middle bit now done, cap it. Kind of like it though, kind of quirky. Blueprint, Coal Power Central, I think that's the one. Once these blueprints are actually finalised, hello, why did it not load? Coal Plant Central, you do not have the resources. Oh man alive, okay. Do we have the stuff here to be able to make any of it? Water meters 3, no, just short 2. We need this. Rightio, back we go. It looks alright in this environment as well. I think it looks pretty cool actually. It needs more tweaking yet, but we'll get there. We will get there. It's a lot quicker coming back downhill. Spits you along. Oh no 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 sir. Come around to that side of the car. Go around the other side, it sucks you back in. The hypertube thing's quite cool actually in some respects. I mean, it reminds me when I was a kid in growing up and was in, as all kids do, they grow up. When I was growing up in England as a kid, they had these sort of machines like this for dispensing cash and receipts and stuff around a shop. And there used to be these clear tubes, and you'd see this canister thing go fire off into the ceiling, basically, and disappear basically around the place. It was really cool. It used to always fascinate me as a kid. Don't see them anymore, of course, with everything being electronic. But they were great fun as a kid to watch them doing that. First, the till person would put the receipt or something in, and with like a £50 note or whatever it was, or £20 note, and it would go jump up into this machine, and then next minute another one would come back, and it'd be like paid thing with the change or whatever. It was great fun, and the hypertube always reminds me of that. At some point we will have Caterium Factory too, but one thing at a time. Must say farewell for now, my friend. I'll watch the remainder later. Do take care. Best regards, Mac. Yeah, and you, mate. Have a good one. Thanks for joining again and having a chat. Right, hopefully that's going to keep us going. I might just grab another couple of hundred in case we need it later on. See if we can actually finish off this crate as well while we're at it. Yes, we can. There we go. Sweet as. Truck is whizzing back. Doing its job. Still going. Nice and consistent. It's actually doing well. I do prefer the new path system they have. It was a little bit finicky getting it to go, but it did eventually, and I like it. You've been playing for 2 hours. So we shall go for about another hour, and that'll be it for today. But yep, being the weekend, I've got a few other things I want to do. There we go. Hopefully that's now sorted to that, so we can do the central thingy in here, load blueprint. Oh, don't want to save it yet, I want to load it. Load it. So, this is really good lighting for this at the moment. So I think what we could do, we need to, those lights need to almost come down a fraction. So we need to bring those down. Turn my light on and then we can actually see what we're doing. So I think this needs to come down more to here. Let me just do that so I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, excuse me. Where did that come from? Let me take it to that line. Do that. What I'm hoping is that the knuckle on the back of these leaves thing comes just above, and then we can do another set of these. That's the goal. That's the idea. Can I stand on this? Sort of. Yes. Good, good. This one is going to be a bit trickier. We need a few more foundations to get up to height. That'll do. Okay. Right. So if that's that, then we can hopefully just take these up. Like that. And then we might need to take this middle lot out and do something else because they're actually cutting into the lights. We can leave the top ones. Maybe we need some smaller leaves to come out which will hide then the knuckles, maybe? I don't know. Let's just save blueprint for a second. Let's go and what have we got? Coal Power Central, so we are short of 3 of those fellas. 1, 2, 3, and now we're short of the Caterium. It's a good thing I brought a little bit of extra. It was a good thing. Right. So let's go and pop that in and see where we're heading, and we can just carry on tweaking the blueprint then as we need. Oh, missed the ladder, bounced off. Thank you. That's the blueprint there. Let's just got to make sure we get that aligned correctly. down, fraction, come into here, and you can see the central part is just off. I think that's now correct. Looks like it is. The curve is going around correctly. Then we have to try and wire that up. We need to go back up the ladder. See if we can get onto here. There's somewhere around here. Or is it up there? It's actually inside, is it? Okay. Didn't think about that one, did I? Okay. Okay, we'll need to readjust. That's alright. We're getting there, we're working on it. We're getting there. And we can see that we've got a way to come out to cover these up as well, so that's okay. We've got the space to do it. And we just need to check where that thing is. I can't remember which side the... Oh, that's frustrating. Okay. Doesn't look like it's there. Is it here? There. Got it. So what we need to do with that is delete that. That power cable needs to come down. I don't think I'm going to be able to grab it from there, but let's have a little look. Let's just pop it there and hope that that is... Oh, it's right out on the edge. Okay. That should be enough though. It should be... maybe not. It's probably not going to be hidden actually. So we need to go back. Take our friend up there. And that needs to go across to there. We need to bring that down. We are going to need to... I'll tell you what, let's pop it here. A bit of a... Actually, we don't need to do that. We can bring it from there, can't we? Because all these are linked, I believe. So if we do that, then go organisation, light panel. We want to go here. Ah, got that round the wrong way again. Sorry. We need to do it that way. Like that will be fine. We can then go from there to that one, which will then feed the cables all up here, which feed the lighting. This cable here is the one that needs to then come down, so it can fit onto the main circuit. And I'm going to click it there and hope that that's a bit more central than we had it. It is, look at that. Spot on. Perfecto. And then we can colour that. Now we need to fill in the missing gaps here. So we can just do that. and that, and that. Then what we need to do is this needs to come out further. So on this particular factory, well, it's power plant, sorry, not factory as such. We've got the nodules of the basically the stem. There will be a name for that officially, and I do not know. But anyway, they need to be hidden. So as you can see here, this is the current positioning, and it obviously doesn't come out far enough. So we're going to need to bring something out to go around to help just hide all of those. And we may have to adjust the odd leaf anyway, but that's okay. We can do that. So what I'm thinking with this, nope, oops, architecture. Let's go. How's this going to work? How am I going to? What are we doing? Freeform? No, let's try default for the moment. So if we came out 10 meters. And then, what I'm sort of the way my brain is going at the moment is kind of, could we create a something like that? That's sort of what I'm thinking. Question with that is it going to hide them, or is the stem going to come through and still be the nodule here sort of thing? Do you know what I mean? And that bit exposed. Exposed before your peers. And whether we take this out and have a miniature, another leaf system in that part, but then, ooh, questions. Excuse me, yawning away. Most of them seem to be level with it. There's a few that are below. So let me rethink this, I think. Hello, sir. How are you? So the other thing we do is we come out not quite as far as 10 meters. Maybe 6, and then do, just wondering whether we could this will work. Don't think that's going to work how I want it to work. So what I was wondering is whether we can form a similar lattice work almost effect that appears on this when it's done on these, but having that go around in a ring at this distance. But if I do that, it almost needs to be a blueprint that I do separately and bring into this. So let me just try that for a second. Let's just save this, save, clear blueprint designer. Then let's go, and that's the original, wherever it is. There's the halfway mark. There. That's the original, and we just span it on the spot. So what happens if we put a beam in, do that, put a beam in there to 6 meters, and sort of go from there. Really? Really, mate? Come on. Clear off. Or I'm going to have to kill you. Because they're not in any hurry, those big ones, are they? They're not in any hurry. Not in any hurry. So, okay, how are we going to do this then? Then we would... Well, there's 2 ways we can do it. We can either go and do a freestyle one, where we do this each time. And that will work, you know, in terms of accomplishing something. We should really be snapping. I should have done that before I did any of this, so let's just delete. That means they're snapping all to the same thing, which means we should get an actual circle. Let's just delete these as we go, so we're not going to get too cumbersome. Obviously the lattice work at this point is a lot looser, which means things are visible, but I've got an idea here how we can actually get around that. So the idea is whether we then do what we can normally do with these, which is turn it like 5, 10, 5, 10. 10. And that creates its own little tight mesh, basically. And once that's repeated around, you'll get a secondary scallopy almost effect of pattern appearing. So if we come to the next one, right, to there, and we go, you see, you got your 5, 10 degrees, 10 degrees again, 10 degrees again. That's your pattern, I believe. Change creates this effect. How that works for this one, I'm not sure, because I think we still need to I think I missed one, you see, in between, and it's going to get them very picky because I'm not doing it in sync. 1, 2. One, two, that was it. Two. So that will produce then your skull. I think it needs one more yet. Oh, come on, don't be such a... try up here. That's 1, 2 to there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That one's needed. There must be another one missing somewhere because this pattern is starting to form. 1, 2. Here we need to get. There we are. 1, 2, and that one. You should see a pattern basically with it, and that's the thing. It's a matter of finding out where that is. That is not it. That was the idea anyway, but it may be too over convoluted, and I may come up with something else. To be honest, because I think looking at this, it's just a bit too much of a shambles. See, that's okay. Let's get rid of all this nonsense for a second. Good thing is, as long as you keep these in, it's very easy to put, you know, the whole thing back, basically. Yeah, we'll just keep it for that for the moment, and I'll work something out for the So we've got about 30 minutes left in the stream, and then I'll be calling it quits today. Can't quite nab it through there, so now if the connectors have done their job properly, this will form a perfect circle. It won't be out. If they haven't done their job, then it will be out. So we are about to find out. I believe it ain't accurate at that length, which is interesting. Very interesting. I mean, it still forms the circle, but you have got an extra piece in there which creates a shorter length. It's an interesting issue I've not come across before ever using that technique. So I am intrigued. That one there. No, that one there. There is out. And that, you see, in these two should be meeting up. They shouldn't have this huge gap between them. So I don't quite understand why. Because using this cap, it locks it at the right meterage. So I am mystified by that, I can assure you. That is interesting. Never come across that problem before. The only time I've ever had it like this, where it's a problem where it hasn't formed properly, is where I haven't used the ends to cap. Because as you can see, even here where I've got my beam running out, it's 6.083 meters. And which seems fairly consistent, but it's interesting because the cap will basically lock it back at 6 meters. Effectively, that's what it does. So it should form the perfect circle. And that means somewhere one of these caps is out. Unless, of course, it's just the size of this particular piece, because I normally do it with these. Oh yeah, but they're the same size, aren't they? Small metal. They're the same size. That's what I normally do it with, and it works out fine. But we've got this gap, you see here, so you have to put in another one. I wonder if we can go from here to that snap point. Oh, it's not going to let us, is it? It's fine. Okay, try a different one. Nope. Ay, 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 ay. What I was trying to do is see whether I can get the middle of this to put in another piece there, because that's where it will be. I don't want the snap going to there or there. It needs to be in the middle. So that's why I was trying to get this to go across, but it's not going to do what I want it to do. Why has that not gone to a perfect circle? Seriously, that has baffled me. Let's check the crossovers, whether they're matching, or whether there's one that's obviously out. That one's the one that's broken. That one, they all look right. They all look correct. Basically, one of the points goes to the corner of the opposite one, and that means then they're correct. Doesn't make any sense why we've got that gap. Do, 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 do. Intriguing puzzles. I reckon one of these stems must be slightly out. Let's well, can only mean one thing, unfortunately, and I'm going to do it offline because otherwise it's just repeat and rinse for you guys. But I am going to have to delete it all because that has to be right. So we've got there, that comes out to, let me do it in a slightly different way this time. So default was 6 meters. Let's come out here, default 6 meters. Perhaps we can narrow down the problem this way. See, that's interesting. See that's not sitting correct. Maybe that's what's happened at some point along this thing. Is maybe that's all that it is something is out by a fraction and it's created the problem. Right, let's do this again. So bump, 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 and bump. Well, I was going to do it offline, but I've decided to torture you instead. Just checking the measurement each time I'm doing it to make sure it is correct. 6.235 or something at the moment. 325, yeah. That is correct. There we are. And then this snapping point should bring it back to that 6 meters. And let's do these ones. 6325, 6325. Process of elimination, basically. 6325, 6325. Right, so what's that? So let's put that on there, that on there, that on there, that on there. If it's to do with the measurement of the actual piece, what it will mean is that when these all join up, we'll have a consistent difference, if you know what I mean, on each quarter. So if it's not a user problem, i.e. I've cocked up somewhere, then basically, yeah, it will 6325. It will just create a consistent error of measurement, which is fine because then you know it's the game mechanic. It's not something I'm doing or it's doing in terms of, yeah, we've got no control over it basically. All right. by the look of this, we've solved our problem. Yep, we've solved the problem. Right. So there must have been a fault somewhere. There must have been... I must have put one beam just not quite right. It must have snapped just slightly to the wrong edge of it. And that's what's caused the problem. Because we now have the beast here. So what we want to do now, because the pod pieces are coming into here, so we really want to try and hide them as much as is possible. Notice here's not right, see though, we do have a problem here. Interesting. There we are. So there is a slight snapping issue somewhere that's going on that's actually creating the problem. That looks better. And again here we've got the same problem, notice here. Yeah, just is a snapping error. Just coming in at the wrong place somewhere. So what we thought was right is not. See that? These little fascinating frustrations. It's an interesting problem though. Okay, let's save this as radial framework, and let's put in no, there's a building parts, right? That. Save blueprint. Right. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. We've just got to work out how to hide the thingies in this a little bit more. It's good work. We do that like that. So we've got another error there. Maybe not, maybe not. Interesting. There is little things where it's not quite snapping 100% correctly. Here's another one. See, it's just hit the edge of it. So there is a tiny little bit of inconsistency going on there somewhere. Not sure where. It's not enough to worry me at this stage because it's not going to really interfere. And you're not going to certainly see it from this distance. Okay. Well, let's try that. We've done a save, have we? Save blueprint, yes, framework. Let's just go and pop it up and have a little look, see what it's starting to look like. We've got lights, etc. yet to sort out whether we do that on it directly or indirectly. this rain in Satisfactory. It's so nice. So nice. Ah, yes. No. We need to delete that. Put the new one on. Cold Power Central. This one. I need to go down and have a look, make sure that's actually gone where it ought, which it never does. Right, that's looking okay. I believe that is in the right location, so let's click OK to that. Oh, see if we can get back up that ladder. It's so hard on the parachute on keyboard, it's just so twitchy. Okay, we will need to sort the electrics, of course. Get those pink lights going. Radial framework, you see, this is going to sit. What I should do is try the blueprint on blueprint. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is, if we can, bring that down so that all those pieces fit inside it, is the idea. Just, and that's then just at the top on that one, which is the highest one, I think, or is it the other one around there? It's just, yeah, it's just on, just. Okay, let's pop it in. That's cool. That's enough to lock it in, hide it in relative terms. The only thing we need to do is get the electric sorted so that the lights come back on. And that's easy enough because it is just, should be just those cables. There to there. It's gone back to white as default because it's a new connection again, so we'll have to go back up and adjust the wherever it is. Not here. It's down. Oh, whoa. It's the ladder again. Can I see it? Where's it gone? Just need to find out where it is first, and then I can find a way of getting to it. Oh man. That's the level I needed to be at, was to see it there. That height difference is absolutely fine because we can add just a piece in. Are we really not able to? Oh my word. There it is. That's it in there, isn't it? because we had it. Did we not? Oh dear. Create a monster for myself. Created a monster. To be honest, right now I am going to leave it as it is. Because I'm going to have to take some of that apart to actually find that and sort it out and redo. But that's okay, we'll do it off stream. Because I might change the colour as well. I want to have a look at that. So try it. I'll try it as pink, try it as blue, and then as it is, and see which looks best. Oh, excuse me. Rightio. Well, that has been, I believe, 3 hours. Just under, but that's enough. We will carry on with this build. It is, it's a fun build, and it's not a massive build. It's not like the other coal plant that took me 500 hours and stuff. I mean, this one's a lot smaller. It's still fun, and it's going to have some more bits added to it yet, but in basic terms, it's heading in the right direction. It's looking fairly cool, and yeah, and we shall try and get that knuckled out. Today is Saturday. I actually wasn't expecting to do a stream today, so it ended up a bit of a surprise, but anyway, we got there. My next one will probably be Tuesday, all being well. So that's when I'm aiming for in my current schedule. So yes, very good. Well, thank you to those that popped in and had a little nose quietly behind the scenes. We did see you slipping in and out. And we thank Mac again, once again, for popping in and having a yak. And yes, anybody else? And if you're intrigued by what you're seeing and you think, my word, this is a bit weird or wacky and I want to see it finished, then slip yourselves the usual little subscribe thing or whatever, and it will come up and it will ping you automatically when I have a video available or stream next, should I say, so it'll come up on your listings. But anyway, in the meantime, have a great weekend, and for those that are in troubled parts of the world, please take care. Our thoughts are with you all, and we wish you all the best. And for everybody else, yes, take care, have a good weekend. Bye.